This writing is kind of the hindsight of my journey. So, with what's going on right now, being told to stay put and whatever, take this time and use it wisely to reflect and go deep inside.
And here we are. It's just getting worse. So how much longer do we stomach this idiocy? And I'll realize at once we need to stop following other so-called men and women who are not really fully grown, mature men and women in a mental and spiritual sense inside, because they're physically full of toxins and their mind is full of programming and mind control. So they don't know who, what, why they are. So that's where we're living. And it's just getting worse. So I just wonder how much longer. Because the idiocy is astounding.
The way that is being shown to everyone is to poison themselves, to willingly consent maybe one last time to one last poisoning, because it's the only way you'll get your bread and circuses back, is if you accept their poison. Digital currency, digital ID, all tied together in the Internet of Things.
That venomous substance of the virus is fear. That is what causes the dis-ease inside the heart of mankind. That's what's been the generational control tool to keep mankind enslaved, because of fear in the heart, trauma in the heart, that the mind can't deal with, doesn't know how to deal with, can't conceptualize to get the big picture or deep picture of what has actually happened, what is actually happening, and where it's all leading because of the trauma in the heart. So they're in a state of fear.
Kind of reality. It's kind of the roadmap that I kind of try and hope to leave for others, for them to find that same divine spark of creation that was theirs, given to them at the instant of their conception. So they can indeed realize they're infinitely more than they've been told, or they've been led to believe, or that they might currently think. That for me, what this poem is my plea itself, for all of our sakes, for the sake of life in general. Scientism gave us GMOs, vaccines, new clouds, and chemical snow. Those aren't good things, understand? Nor's the intense Wi-Fi bans. These things are done and damage health. Done by and spelled in pursuit of wealth. Fancy titles, degrees displayed, unaware they're being played. I realize fully it's not all their fault. Taught not to question, their mind a vault. The paradigm you're in may not exist. Academia is full of magic tricks. Remove the blinders of your degree. Truly see reality. Time for arrogance it is not, to undo the damage that's been wrought.
So the brain logically is filled with information that is incorrect at its foundation, attaches labels to itself and reality without being able to picture what's happening because of all the toxicity, because that's what happens when you eat chemicals, when you eat genetically modified everything. It modifies your own genetics. TB, and they say it to you over and over again. Social distancing, social distancing. And now you got something to repeat to everyone around you, like you're doing your part to help because you care. Viruses don't work like that in the first place. It's nonsense. You know what it's for? It's a trained behavior. It's social engineering. It's to cause further separation, as if there hasn't been enough already. They're linguistic artists that put out false contradictory information to create false images in the mind to give you a false perception of yourself and reality and what it all means. So each has to snap out of that on their own and grow up on their own from all the other things that cause the issues. It's not these new viruses and things. It's because of the state of unhealth inside. Because that's what happens when you grow up being injected with chemicals, poisons, toxins, metals, mercuries, and things that make it so the brain cannot cognitively process and picture reality for what it is, or the self for what it might be. And sorry if that sounds offensive to one that holds some of those things as an actual belief, because you might get offended. Well, that's the thing with the truth. The truth can be offensive, especially when you're being told directly you've been lied to. You've been believing and perpetuating that lie and spreading that shit around, causing harm. And you might feel offended. Well, it's your fault, not mine. So you deal with that internal issue and struggle. Don't blame me for it.
The fear, please recognize you are not animals, men and women. A man, a woman is not an animal.
All the ists and the isms are all the same labels of control and fracturing of identity that aren't your true personalities or personas or masks you wear. They're just different masks for you to trade at whatever convenient time, for you to keep following the latest childish trend, to follow the leader. Well, why don't you stop being either a leader or follower of someone else's bullshit? Better. I would also suggest for others right now, if you're going through things and you really feel you need to get out a message that's important, if you're putting out a good message to try and help, correct wrong, that is that place of righteous anger, and it is a different place, though it can feel a bit the same as that fight instinct place. It's different when it's a place of righteous anger, because you know and comprehend deeply that what you're saying is true, correct, and right. Though it might offend or sound harsh to the one that hears it, if they're in a state of contradiction, still, ultimately, the triggering of that contradiction inside is the key to them being able to realize there's a contradiction there, and then helping themselves by deeply contemplating what that means and why is that contradiction in there that made them feel like that when something was spoken by someone they don't even know or care about. So what I say shouldn't hurt you at all.
Anyone, because it cannot be conveyed to anyone, because it cannot be given to anyone, because the secret within that secret is to know it, to know that there is a creator, there is a most high above us all, and that no man or woman is that. To know that, to truly know that, is to feel that. To feel that. That's where conscience comes in. The heart, humility, empathy. Seeing all your fellow man and woman and children and yourself as all children of the same Most High. That's the secret within that massive secret, is that it has to be felt within. And it's very, very, very clear by actions. Who truly feels that and truly knows that, and who does not. It truly is, and it's that simple. The vast, deep simplicity of that, when felt inside in the heart, in the soul, ignites the spirit inside the man, woman, or child. And that knowing is the foundation that can be built upon, that foundation of truth that cannot be taken away. So that's what I have to say about that part.
Truly. You see, what has happened is a total inversion of that. That's why society has been fed chemicals and totally harmful, destructive things and taught to think it's food. and taught to think that they're a mistake, a random collection of random events of evolution that created them. And all the different random events and contradictory information that create the belief, that create the perception that folks have of reality in themselves in this world, has to be corrected by each. Each of us have things inside that we want to say but sometimes can't say or feel like we shouldn't say. If what you have to say you know is right, say it. Say it while you can. Because to me, I'm telling you this, don't let yourself be pushed to a way to where this is changed or tried to be solved with violence. That does not work. All of us can use our words and the ability to comprehend words in conversation with each other to communicate our way out of this. What's happened with communication up to this point is that it's been used in all forms and formats to manipulate.
We're an idiot. Don't fall for it. Please. Because if you choose to go this unnatural route, I don't know what it means if you take that route.
But it's the physical expression of a number that's infinite.
Right,
It represents infinity. Though even just the simple act of writing down the number or thinking about it in your mind with your physical body and brain, you're trying to imagine the all, and it's only a physical representation. Even if it's only a thought in your mind, your physical body and brain is trying to manifest that thought and consider infinity in a physical way here on earth in the moment while you stand here.
Manipulate. That's why folk have to speak to each other so they can get to a place of heart to heart, mind to mind understanding of things that they're saying to each other.
And that's why so many lies have come from that. So much sorcery has come from saying and misrepresenting what's above us and what we're standing on to keep folks' temple, their logic and creativity broken so they can never achieve that wisdom, that third pillar, that is their spine, the whole of their being, with the pillars in their mind, full of the strength and beauty of themselves in life and nature of God's creation that they are and that they stand upon, and knowing that they cannot be God. We are all only images made in the image of God that can create other physical images in the likeness of us with our own reproductive creative energy. Though the misuse of that creative energy and the twisting of logic and the twisting of perception that's been done for generations has looted their temple, the temple between their temples, and made them consciously think that they're spinning through space in insignificant speck, when all along, had they only taken some simple tools of measurement and then used the simple tools of their own common senses to measure themselves in their reality, in their life, in their experience, in what they see and feel each day, each moment, and try to put order there. That's the whole point of this talk, I guess, is to try and help someone else do such a thing within. And it takes getting the toxic information out, the toxins that have been trained and indoctrinated to create pictures in the mind of safety or health or sustenance that just aren't true.
That was good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that.
So why is this important to me? To me, these same tools that have been used to loot our temples of the spiritual gold, that is the gold that we all need to find, the metaphysical gold within, of those 7 chakras, of the 7 colors of the rainbow, so to speak, all coming together into a golden unity of light within our hearts, in our minds, illuminated under the lights of the luminaries the Creator put above us. That's why it's important, because these tools can help one find God within and seek God all around and throughout, within and without. And that to me is how we bring order from chaos.
within. And that's the key in the heart to win the war of all the battles of mind. I title it All I Can Say is because I feel like I have already said all I can say to try and help. So those clips will hopefully do that job. You can see too. And that's how all of this gets stopped. In a good way. Or to put right in a good way without continuing down this path of darkness. Because this is a controlled collapse and reordering of society that we're living.
Evidence of it is the birth certificate that none of us were told about what any of that was.
Numbers. What I'm trying to convey is that there are ritual within ritual within ritual playing out right now. And they're coming to completion and fruition in very dark ways.
You are meant to realize all that spiritually entails, as you are the cross you must bear.
So when that kind of sorcery is playing out too, sorcery of the mind and that illusion of space, and folks that don't have any kind of interrelating information for these myths or archetypes or stories, and know how so many of these things interrelate to your own biology, your own physiology, to you, your own journey, your own physical and metaphysical journey. It's how they trick you and keep you compartmentalized in your psyche and keep you from realizing your true self. And Jupiter, don't get trapped in that you have to make a choice with these kinds of labels. No. Because goodness and evil, both, they manifest within each and every man, woman, and child. Each and every man, woman, and child can choose to realize, recognize that, and gain control and mastery, self-mastery. And I feel like that choice that's physically being forced, technologically, with poison injections and things, that will cause the real death and destruction, that's coming. That's later. That's what's coming shortly. And it very well may be this year. I've had that feeling deep within me, and I've tried to express it.
This is called truth to power. Sorry. To the powers whom think they be, I tell you now, you control not me, not I, nor those that know. No man, no woman with moral heart and soul. Parental systems run by dualistic minds, false authority of the spiritually blind. To mimic and usurp protection and care, indoctrinated slaves of the belief put there. Even now, what do I see but the next iteration of psychotic schemes? The flat earth society is likely involved to perpetuate the theory of gravity as illusory law. Twisting and perverting natural law, the natural law society pushes Noahide laws. Disguised as morality for the Goyim slaves, as soulless shells strive for the end of days. I see the lie, see through it all. Dark builders built this place to fall. Can those not see that ride the goat, still trapped in lies that others spoke? Whichever way, it matters not. This works off consent, and you have it not.
So I hope you can get something from this video. I hope I haven't gone on too long here to make you already turn it off. Thank you for listening. Feel free to share.